So in the previous clips, we went over self-appreciation. We talked about effective and damaging routine habits. In this one, I first want to talk about how effective habits don't just happen. Well, this is a scan of the human brain. Of course, we added some colors. But the point is, humans or human animals have different parts of our brain. And our brains are very effective, but our brains are very effective especially in noticing and remembering danger. Yeah, we learn through habits, we learn through what doesn't work, and if something doesn't work, or if there is a place where we shouldn't go, that gets a strong imprint in our brain. Now that is and was useful for our survival, but there's just one problem with that, and the problem is that often our brain is more focused on what does not work than it is focused on what does work, or that our brain is focused on critique rather than on giving appreciative feedback. So in order for us to get a self-appreciative habit, it is something that you need to learn, that you need to train yourself in. Now, the good news is that this training doesn't take so long. You can actually do something that I call 3 daily droplets. And again, a quote you may have found on Facebook or somewhere else, that you will never change your life until you actually change something small of your daily routine. And it's true. I've been helping people with change management, also in organizations, for about 25 years now. And each time an organization comes with 35 steps of what we should do, I can promise you the change will not stick. Change only sticks when you change small things every day. This is so for big organizations, but this is also so at the micro level, at the individual level, what I'm talking about in this video. So that's why in the first slide, self-appreciation is a lever for change, for bigger, positive, long-term change. And let me now tell you what a droplet, that's of course again a metaphor, a drop of self-appreciation is. Well, basically, it can be anything, but its ingredients are about reinforcing micro moments of well-being. They have to be short because they're micro moments. So we talk about something that lasts less than 2 minutes, and it is something also that has to be repeated 3 times per day. And what you do is you do something, you reinforce it, and then also you appreciate it. Now, what are these examples of droplets of self-appreciation? Well, basically it can be any short task that you do and anything that gives you well-being. Now again, when you're watching this video, I assume that you are a healthy human being, yeah? So that your well-being doesn't harm other people. And what can it be? First example, I put paying a bill. Now what do I mean by that? I mean that sometimes we put off simple tasks like paying bills or filling out our tax forms, and rather than procrastinating it and saying, well, one day I do it, and then you do it the night before the deadline, the point is decide to say, okay, I'm going to pay 1 bill right now. This will take me less than 2 minutes. I read the thing, I pay it, and then I tell myself, maybe with a physical pat on the shoulder, well done. This is smart. What happens is, 1, you experience well-being because you've completed a task. Secondly, you have reinforced that well-being by telling yourself this is smart behavior. It's smarter than procrastination. Another example not on the list is taxes. Just like many of you, I do not enjoy filling out my tax forms, which in my case actually has to be from 2 different countries, Belgium and the Netherlands. But what do? I cut it in small tasks, and I tell myself, sometimes an action of only 2 minutes, or sometimes a bit longer, but by doing it in bits and short pieces, it actually gets done. And also you feel good about that. Enjoying a great line in a book. I've given that example before. Cherishing a sunset, or just while you're driving your car and you notice, it's a nice sunny day, enjoy that for a moment. Take a few seconds to enjoy this, which, by the way, some of you may also know as mindfulness. But here the idea is to also, reinforce it and to tell yourself it's good that I notice this. It's good that I take a micro moment for this. And then other example can be texting a friendly message to a friend, just to cheer somebody up and tell yourself, hey, good that I'm doing this. Now in this self-appreciation habit clips, which sources have I used? And again, I've been standing on the shoulders of giants. So the last 30 years, I've been studying and practicing behavioral change, and many sources have passed by. It already started a long time ago in Latin class with Virgil, because for what some of you may remember is that in the Georgics, Virgil writes about doing simple tasks, like taking care of your crops in your fields and your cattle, and how noble those simple tasks were, and how good you feel about doing this. You get something done, and it also provides you with appreciation. At Cornell, I had the great pleasure of working with Ken Blanchard, who developed the 1-minute management system. Bernard Siegel wrote Love, Medicine, and Miracles, also about the influence of positive psychology on your physical well-being. And then many other sources. I will not go over all of them. But again, I would like to focus on Dr. Gertjan van Zessen, because working with him and also reading about his material has been a prime source to provide this video on the self-appreciation habit. So in the text box of this clip, you will find some other YouTube clips that I've made, and also an email to get in touch if you want to know more about the self-appreciation habit.